What's up, guys? If you clicked on my video, you're probably a more dedicated person and you probably aspire to be more than what most people are capable of, and I applaud you for that. One thing about my videos is that they're very low dopamine and they have very minimal cuts and edits, which is going to challenge your attention span. Now, if you're the kind of person that wants to be a dedicated, say, bodybuilder, or you want to be making a lot more progress in the gym, you're going to need a lot of discipline and dedication. Practice your discipline by making it through this video without a lot of jump cuts. Now, a lot of mistakes that I see in people just starting the gym is inconsistency. Obviously, I mean, that's just water under the bridge at this point. Inconsistency is obviously the immediate killer of any gains that you'll ever want to make. Um, but getting right into practical steps, this is what I did that made me go from um the image that you see on screen here to the image that you see on screen here. It has been 3 years since the first one, but this image right here there's a 2 year gap in between these pictures, and I will show you how I made that progress and what actually got me to make that progress. Now I apologize because I lost my actual nice camera, so I'm using my webcam, which might be a little off or a little silly. So I apologize for that, and I have my whiteboard here. Couldn't find an actual whiteboard erase marker, so I have a highlighter. Seemed better than a Sharpie, so hope you can see everything. Now you can kind of see where I wrote it here. You're going to want to start tracking everything. And you're going to want to do this in a notes app, just one on your phone, okay? Don't fall for the MyFitnessPal propaganda. It doesn't matter. You don't need any of that. You don't need MyFitnessPal. You don't. If you want, you can use some sort of physical notebook. Like I've got one right here. This kind of physical notebook that you can flip through the pages and help you track if that works better for you. For most people, I really recommend using the Notes app on your phone. It's going to work practically 1,000 times better. Okay. Now, at first, when I started making progress, here's what I tracked. Now, I've always been skinnier and I needed to gain a lot of weight. So, what I would track is that every morning after I used the restroom, I would step on the scale and then I would track my weight. Okay. And every morning I track my weight. Let's say I'm 175 pounds today. I would track 175 pounds in my weight. And then throughout the day, I would need to make sure that I'm eating enough calories. These are practical steps. I want you to be in your notes app doing this along with me right now. This is your notes app, okay? You can just title it progress or daily stats is what mine is titled. It goes back years. And I just track every single day with the date at the top, okay? So my weight is 175 pounds. Do it clothless on your scale after you use the restroom every morning. That way you have consistent data on your actual weight. Um, Now, every single time I would eat, I would track my calories. Now, a lot of people are going to tell you to track your protein. I'm telling you it is not nearly as important as your calories, whether you're bulking or cutting. Your calories are the most important thing, and they are directly in correlation with the weight that you're going to lose and gain. Okay, eating is 70% of your progress. Okay, your training is the other 30%, and you can factor sleep into that, but a basic rule of thumb is your eating habits are about 70% of your progress. So the calories that you eat are the most important thing. And a lot of people think that they eat a lot or they eat a little, and although for maybe 1-2% of people that's going to work and you can just use that as a guide, is just your daily eating. For 98% of people, you're going to need to track these calories. Trust me when I say it helps. And it makes a world of difference. When I actually started gaining like my first 5, 10, 15 pounds of muscle is when I started tracking my calories. So today, so far, I am at, let's see, how many calories am I at today? It's 1 in the morning. I'm at 3,195 calories. So I'm going to just write down my calories like that at the end of the day. Now I still have more to eat, but say it's the end of the day, you keep adding them. So like at the beginning of the day, I'd write 500, then I'd eat again. I'd put it 1,500. I'd eat again. I'd make it 2,000, and just so on until the end of the day. You have your total calories. Now I recommend just starting out with weight, calories, and another one that I like to do is sleep. um from the night before. So like last night I slept from 4 a.m. to 12 p.m. That is exactly 8 hours, right? So I would write 8 hours. Now, other days you might get 3 hours of sleep. Write down 3 hours of sleep. If you get more, write down 12 hours of sleep. Okay? I just got a very basic number, which is good for what I'm trying to show you guys. So you write down your sleep because honestly, these three things are the most important metrics that you are going to need for your progress. Um, your sleep, your calories, and your weight. Okay? Your weight is going to help you see if you're bulking or cutting is the amount of calories and sleep that you're getting equivalating to you either losing or gaining weight, depending on what you want. If you're get if my goal is to gain weight, I want to be 185 pounds. I'm at 175. I've been bulking for 2 months and I've gone up 1 pound. That probably tells me that I need to start adding maybe 500, 1,000 calories to my total calories. Say you're trying to lose weight, you've been at 175 for 3 months and you want to be at 165, but you've only lost about a pound in the 2 months, or maybe you've even gained weight. That tells you that you need to decrease your calories. This is why tracking is so important. Um, and if your sleep, if you're getting consistently 3, 4, 5 hours of sleep every single night, that is probably telling you that your sleep is impacting your results, especially if you're bulking. You can't, your body is not going to get the progress, especially in the muscular weight, if you are not getting 8 hours of sleep every night, at least. That is the required amount of sleep that you need at least. Honestly, if you're developing, like I'm 19, if you're around my age, younger, a little older, in your 20s, in your teens, you should probably be aiming for 8 to 12 hours of sleep, the most that you possibly can. And you'd want to wake up naturally doing so. Um, this is what I recommend if you're just beginning. Now, if you want to take it more seriously, or if after a while you kind of think you can add more onto here, another thing you can track is protein. I don't even track protein right now, although it would probably be beneficial for me too. Um, Now a good rule of thumb is 1 gram per pound of body weight. Okay, so I'd want to eat about 175 grams of protein. Now, a lot of times you want to add more, so like do 10 grams more. So like I'd want to eat like 185 grams of protein every day. Doing that is going to guarantee muscle growth. Now, usually when you get a lot of calories, especially if you're bulking, like if I were to eat 4,000, 5,000 calories in a day, I'm just going to get the amount of protein that I need by proxy. But to guarantee that, I can also track my protein. So the way that muscle synthesis works and muscle building works is that your muscles are made of carbs. They're made of carbs. There's a lot of propaganda in the space, and even just like in health spaces in school and whatnot, about how protein is what your muscles are made of. This isn't true. Your muscles are made of carbs, and it's carbs bonded by protein. So protein is important, but it is about 20 to 30% of the equation. About 60% of the equation is your carbohydrates. Now, those carbohydrates are mostly tracked within my calories personally. All right. Carbs and fats and everything just kind of equivalent in there. You can start tracking things like carbs and fats down here. They are very beneficial. Um, I recommend only doing that after you can do these other three or four consistently. Because if you're not doing these other three or four consistently, you're just going to get overwhelmed and then you're just going to quit. So you won't be consistent. Um, Now, what this does for you is it gives you that consistency. And most people, like even at my age, like I hear a lot of people think that they need to hop on like steroids or like MK or Anavar or anything like that because they're not making the progress. But the only time where I'd ever recommend that is when you have these in a line. Now, let's just put this down for a second. If you're still watching, I'm assuming you're a pretty dedicated person. We're what, 10 minutes into the video. I'm assuming you're a pretty dedicated person. You want results and you want it now. Okay, but let me tell you, is like steroids is a very serious thing to talk about. A lot of people don't take it seriously enough. Like for me personally, I'm natural. I've always been natural. Everything that I've shown you is all my natural progress. I'm going to eventually take steroids, although I'm not taking it now. Um, a lot of the mistake that people that take steroids make is they don't research it properly. They take it way too early, and they take incorrect doses. And you can even look online. Excuse me. You can even look online on like social media influencers, and you can see people's physiques that are like big, but their skin is terrible. Their face looks awful and bloated. And you can just tell they are not healthy. They don't look aesthetic regardless of their muscle size. And that is what you want to avoid. Don't fall into that trap of body dysmorphia to the point where you hate yourself enough to not do your research. If you are, for the 1% of people that are watching this that have made progress, maybe you're coming back to this video after a while. If you're part of the 1% of the people that are watching this video that have made progress or are years into your lifting and you have reached your natural ceiling by hitting these goals every single day, getting your sleep, calories, protein, and tracking everything every single day. If you're one of those people that have gotten that every day, let me tell you the thing about getting steroids. Research for hours and hours and hours, have conversations with ChatGPT for a long time, watch videos on what you're taking into your body, because a lot of people kind of get this idea into their heads. They're like, I want to get big, so I'm just going to take steroids. So they go find some random dude on TikTok, message him, like, yo, I want to buy some Anavar. Okay, you get some Anavar, some MK, or whatever injectables you can find, and then you start injecting. But the thing is, then you start getting terrible acne all over your chest and back. Your face starts getting bloated. You start aging 10 years and 2, and then suddenly you don't have the results you wanted. You look 10 times worse than you did when you first started, and you're like, what happened? I took steroids. Like, I should have the progress that I want. Look at that. Like, I should have the progress that I want, but you don't. And it's because they don't research things. You get so obsessed with the promise of muscle growth or the physique that you want that you ignored all of the side effects. But the side effects are very real, and you can get around that if you want to get into competing or if you want to take your progress more seriously. But you have to research what these things do to your body, like the positives, and especially research the negatives. Do not neglect the negatives. They're important, and there's things you need to do to counteract the negatives as well. um, get your blood work done regularly. Be monitored by doctors. Make sure that your levels are consistently healthy and that you're a healthy human being, okay? You do not want to be one of the people, don't be stupid. Don't be an idiot that just neglects their health for the vain reasons of looking good or muscle growth, okay? Because although muscle growth is great, it is not more important than your lifespan, okay? Research what you're doing, get your blood work done, make sure you stay healthy. If you're not healthy, you won't be able to be alive to even bodybuild in the first place. Okay? Um Now doing this is for more dedicated people. Like when I tell people you have to go to the gym every single day no matter what, they don't listen. And I'm talking about the average person. When I tell people that you need to track your calories and eat an extreme amount, 4 or 5,000 calories a day, they don't listen. When I tell people that you need to train intensely till failure every single day, they don't listen. And that's because most people don't understand. But if you're watching this far, I'm assuming you're either really hating me or you really want the progress. And I will leave you with this just so I don't waste any more of your time. The number one actionable step that you need to take every day, I'm assuming if you're still watching, you already know this, but that is showing up every single day. I say this in every video. I'm going to keep saying it. Show up every single day, you will get the progress that you want. Show up every single day, you will get the progress that you want. Even if you show up and just do abs, show up to the gym and meditate. Show up and stretch if you have nothing else to give. When you lift, push everything, push, I'd say 95% of sets till failure. And anything that's not a warm up, you should be pushing till failure. And I'm talking about the kind of failure where say I was doing shoulder press and I'm like the kind where it like goes up, you're like, oh, like that's the second to last rep, and then you go down, and then you push up, and then it's not going up anymore, and then once you fail, instead of just letting it down, once you're here, control the decline as much as you can, like keep pushing it as you're letting it down, so you can get even more stretch and more muscle tears on your way down. Because if you can combine high intensity failure training along with your consistent eating, sleep, and whatever else, that is where you're actually going to make the progress that you want, the progress that 99% of people that even go to the gym don't make. Okay? Keep these things in mind, track every day, keep yourself accountable, write in your notebook what you're doing wrong, what you can improve, take progress photos, and keep pushing, keep researching, keep learning. Don't be dumb. And genuinely, guys, anything is possible. Believe it. That's all. Appreciate it for watching.